Hello again. Quick question. Have you ever heard of a woman who used her pen and her voice to fight for justice and stand up against unfairness? Her name was Ida B. Wells, and she was a journalist, activist, and fearless leader who made history. Her story is full of courage, determination, and a whole lot of bravery. Let's dive in and learn about this wonderful woman. Ida B. Wells was born on July 16, 1862, in Holly Springs, Mississippi. She was born into slavery, but just a few months later, the Emancipation Proclamation freed her and her family. The Emancipation Proclamation was a document signed by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 that declared all enslaved people in Confederate states to be free. It was a big step toward ending slavery in the United States. The Confederate States were a group of 11 southern states that seceded or broke away from the United States in the 1860s. They wanted to keep slavery legal, which led to the Civil War. Even though she was free, life wasn't easy for Ida. Her parents died when she was just 16 years old, and she had to take care of her younger siblings all by herself. But Ida was strong and determined. She became a teacher to support her family and never stopped fighting for what was right. Here's something really cool. Ida B. Wells was a journalist, which means she wrote stories for newspapers. But she didn't just write about anything. She wrote about the unfair treatment of African Americans, especially the terrible practice of lynching. Lynching was when people were killed, often by hanging, without a fair trial. It was a horrible and unjust practice, and Ida was determined to stop it. Ida wrote articles and gave speeches to expose the truth about lynching. She even traveled across the country and to Europe to tell people what was happening. Her bravery made a lot of people angry, but she didn't back down. She believed that the truth could change the world. Ida was also a fighter for women's rights. She believed that women should have the same opportunities as men, and she worked hard to make sure women could vote. She even helped start organizations like the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, to fight for equality. Ida B. Wells was a pioneer, which means she was one of the first to do something important. She showed the world that one person's voice and courage can make a big difference. 5 fun facts about Ida B. Wells. 1. She was one of the first African American women to run a newspaper. Her paper was called the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight. 2. She was thrown off a train for refusing to give up her seat, 70 years before Rosa Parks did the same thing on a bus. 3. She carried a pistol with her for protection because her work made her a target for people who didn't like what she was saying. 4. She was a co-founder of the NAACP, one of the most important civil rights organizations in history. 5. She was posthumously awarded a Pulitzer Prize in 2020 for her courageous reporting on lynching. A famous quote from Ida B. Wells: "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." Ida B. Wells' story teaches us that with bravery, determination, and the power of the truth, we can change things. If you enjoyed learning about her, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And let us know in the comments, what's the most interesting thing you learned about Ida B. Wells today? See you next time.